12 stands for local news. From Arizona's most watched station, 12 News at 5 starts now.
Strawberry and banana goes together pretty good.
Josh Berner makes a milkshake at home just like you might, except for one thing.
And about a tablespoon of marijuana. That's about it.
Josh is battling cancer.
And marijuana is about the only thing I have found that really gets my appetite going.
Josh Berner is one of more than 870,000 Arizonans who voted to make marijuana legal with a doctor's prescription. Tempe Republican Representative Mike Gardner voted no, but his own mother voted yes.
I told her that what she voted yes on was for doctors to be able to prescribe LSD and heroin. She was shocked that she voted yes.
Opponents say Prop 200 really made this entire list of drugs legal for prescription. Not just cannabis, that is marijuana, but lysergic acid diethylamide, LSD, and heroin. Before Josh could fill a prescription, though, state legislators jumped in and passed a law telling doctors, despite the public vote, marijuana would stay illegal in Arizona until federal drug laws changed. This fall, you'll vote again to either uphold medical marijuana or agree with legislators like Mike Gardner, who want people like his mother to have a second chance.
She was not duped, she was not fooled, but what she wasn't was fully informed.
Confusion of the LSD and the other drugs makes it seem like we're all going to hell in a handbasket. And that's the ignorance and the arrogance and the superstition on the behalf of the politicians to dictate medical practice.
Not all water rescues are this dramatic. In fact, some happen right in the middle of the urban area, in calm-looking neighborhoods like this one.
We're simulating that we have a victim in the back of a pickup that is out in the middle of the wash.
Rural Metro firefighters routinely drill for swift water rescues. Sometimes those rescues happen right down the street from their fire station in affluent North Scottsdale. More than once, rural Metro firefighters have had to haul motorists out of the Indian Bend Wash at Lincoln Drive. In a solid monsoon storm, the water here in the Indian Bend Wash at Lincoln can reach 5, 6, even 7 feet deep. That would put this just about underwater. And what makes this crossing particularly deceptive, firefighters say, is not what you may see here, but what you don't see somewhere else. The Indian Bend Wash starts up in northeast Phoenix, miles away from Scottsdale. Water from a localized downpour north and east is already headed south, headed your way, even if the sky right above you at Lincoln has not opened up yet.
It will run, and it will run high and fast there at Lincoln, at the Indian Bend Wash, if it's raining up north. It does not have to be raining right there at that present spot.
It's a different story where Deer Valley Road passes under the Black Canyon Freeway. The underpass turns into a lake when it rains right overhead. ADOT pumps try to move the water out of the underpass to city storm drains, but storm sewers often overload. Putting in a bigger drain system will be pricey.
We've estimated that roughly citywide we'd need somewhere between $200 and $300 million.
In a valley growing with construction, natural gas line breaks are nothing new for Southwest Gas.
In a month, anywhere between 60 and 90.
Southwest says most of the breaks are caused when contractors dig in the wrong place. Southwest uses this kind of receiver to locate pipe. A transmitter sends a radio signal to a wire running along the underground pipe. When the beeping stops above ground, in theory, you're right on top of the pipe. The gas company says they rarely mismark their own lines.
If you're looking at 100, it would be 1 or less.
1%.
Yes, less than 1%.
But that broken orange plastic pipe is that one miss in 100. Southwest told the contractor their gas line went behind an office building for KSAZ TV, continuing past the corner of the building, then taking a right angle to the gas meter. But the line actually angled off, cutting diagonally around the corner. The contractor cut the line, thinking they were digging in the clear. Both Southwest underground maps and their electronic locators showed the gas line coming all the way to here, around the corner of the building. But the actual gas line, a plastic pipe, was here, about 4 feet away. Both the locator and the map missed it, and Southwest needs to find out why. In the jumble of underground pipes, the radio signal may have jumped to another metal pipe, momentarily tricking the reader, even though those devices are considered state-of-the-art.
Right now, there's no silver bullet in terms of a breakthrough technology for line location.
Just pull the string on your favorite political consultant and let them fly. Bob Grossfeld helped Bill Clinton carry Arizona in 1994. He says the first stop after testifying should be the president's family.
That is and should be the very first thing in his mind, is to deal with this as a private family matter, and then talk to the rest of us.
The right's counterspin meister is former Symington Chief of Staff Jay Hyler.
My guess is that he will come out and address the American people this evening, and there will be extremely high television ratings for that address.
If you were advising the president, would you advise him to have Mrs. Clinton with him or not?
No, probably not.
She would make that call in this case, obviously, but I think this is one he has to walk through on his own.
Republicans remember the president's original denials to the nation.
If his people are smart, that will be part of what he goes before the public tonight with and says, I really shouldn't have done that either. Because that's one of the things that people really do hold against the president. It's the slick Willie factor.
But Democrats see a chance for a kind of family value spin, feeling Bill Clinton's pain.
To share with us his feelings of shame and to ask the forgiveness of the American people. And I think if he does that, that the vast majority of American citizens will give him that.
For the right, an opportunity to handcuff Clinton.
You say that this guy's lying to you. He's not telling you the truth, and let me tell you how.
From the left, a warning.
I suspect most voters are not going to take kindly to the Republicans trying to take political advantage of this. It is time to move on.
We have Jackson 4s.
For Patty Robledo, dealing poker is a job. But for the people who live across the freeway in Scottsdale, about a half a mile from Casino, Arizona, the new gaming compact adds hundreds of slot machines alongside the poker tables. It's a round-the-clock gaming operation. Between hands of 7-card stud, Tom Roberts says Scottsdale should not be surprised.
You know, I saw it coming, so I don't have a problem with it. If they've got a problem with it, they've got choices. They can move or protest or do whatever.
Former Governor Fife Symington tried hard to derail the Salt River deal, arguing it could raise the stakes for off-reservation gaming. The Salt River Indian community knows that some of their neighbors to the west, in the city of Scottsdale, are extremely wary about having gaming so close to the city's borders. But tribal members take a different view. They say it's a view based on economic fairness.
I would like them to understand that we are a group of people that also would like to have businesses and money-making businesses, economic development, so that we can have the services that Scottsdale has.
In signing the compact, Governor Jane Hull pledged to work against expanding gaming off Indian land. But after losing both at the polls 2 years ago and in the state Supreme Court, Hull tried to offer anti-gambling forces some comfort about the Salt River deal.
That we are increasing both regulation and oversight for the people in Arizona.
The tribe, though, believes full tables and slots mean a chance to give taxpayers a break.
We want to be self-sufficient. We feel that we can be, and this is one way, just one way, and it may not last forever.
And tonight we want to tell you you can have life. If you're a drug addict tonight, we want to tell you you can have life.
Right across the street from Brother Richard McDowell, you can see the police. Tactical units brought out suspects in handcuffs. People police believe are deep into the street drug trade. But some of the neighbors say this raid is just a concentrated dose of what they see every day.
I think it's harassment. They're harassing all the black people. You can't even drive down the street without them flashing their lights on you.
This is the kind of inner city community that's had plenty of experience before with the police, and not all of it pleasant. But about a mile away from here to the east, just south of the Bank One ballpark, you talk to community activists near Central Park, they have a different perspective.
I came over here and my son was laying right down here, which had been shot at 18 times.
Patricia Rideau remembers seeing her son on the sidewalk right across the street from her home. She says drugs killed him.
It was a payback because he was making more money than what they were making.
Central Park is about a mile west of the raid area. It still looks a bit rough, but residents say the police have helped them reclaim their neighborhood from drug dealers.
And we are the ones who've asked the police to come in. We're sick and tired of gunshots going through our windows. We're sick and tired of people performing their various physical activities in our yards or in front of our children.
The drugs, though, do not disappear. They simply move across town. So do the police, and so do people like Brother McDowell.
Father God, begin to touch that young man.
Brother Richard knows not many people in this neighborhood are listening right now, but he clearly believes his message will make more of a difference than police cars in the long run. Lew Ruggiero, 12 News. Mary Reese's purse was found on the second floor of the parking garage at the Arizona Center a week ago. The contents were scattered around. She had left a bar to get something out of her purse, which she had left in the friend's car. Hours later, when her friends came out to go home, the car, which belonged to friend Becky Gatlis, was gone.
At first I was pissed. I was like, oh my God, she took my car. Then I was like, you know, she doesn't drive. She has no driver's license. How's she going to do that?
The people handing out these flyers believe the Arizona Center could have put the missing car together with a purse security found in the same part of the parking garage and triggered an intensive search days ago.
Security picked up her purse and she shows them exactly where her car was, and they can't realize that that's my daughter's purse.
401 Adam. Earlier in the day, a false alarm in Southwest Phoenix. Mary's friend had taken a call indicating the missing car was dumped at 35th Avenue in the Salt River. Police went and looked, but found nothing.
You know, all kinds of things went through my head. You know, they got rid of my daughter.
But it turned out there was no car.
No car. I just couldn't realize how anybody can be so mean.
You think it was a joke?
Yeah. Yeah, because there was no signs of nothing.
Can I have your number, please? Thank you. What can I do for you?
If you've registered your car lately, you probably got one in the mail.
I have had to register a vehicle lately, and I did get the little sheet. And when I saw it, it was real obvious to me that it was simply utilizing taxpayers' money to help try and fund and promote a campaign.
State law requires the Motor Vehicle Division to give you this chart showing how your vehicle registration fees are spent. But on the flip side, in color, a state flag with a message. Dear motorist, it begins, Arizona's vehicle license tax was reduced by approximately 16%. The members of the legislature and I worked together to accomplish this reduction on your behalf. It's signed, Best Regards, Jane D. Hull, Governor.
There's no doubt. They're utilizing taxpayers' dollars today to campaign for governor. I think the voters ought to be offended by that.
State Motor Vehicle says the good news message with the personal touch cost a bit over $4,500 to produce 750,000 color inserts.
We try to draw a very, very strong line between campaign and being governor. To me, that's being governor, and I can defend that thoroughly.
But the same bill is also likely to increase what you pay for your car's emission test. You get a notice on that too, telling you $20 you pay every 2 years is not enough to cover the full testing cost of $24.30. The legislature and Governor Hull ended the state subsidy, which keeps your test fee down. The state flyer says you may be required to pay the full cost of this test, but the bad news is not signed.
When my emissions fees go up, would you also put a notice in and sign it and say, well, the legislature and I did this too?
I would have no problem with that.
See you later! 64!
Mark McGuire's autograph means something.
Sosa waiting. Swung on! Deep! Mark McGuire! You got company! 60.
So does Sammy Sosa's. But the autograph on this Eagle Scout Award has some Boy Scouts upset. The Boy Scouts make every president their honorary president. Now, some scouts in Utah do not think Bill Clinton's signature honors their uniform. Chris Rooney is used to uniforms. He's a drummer for the Corona del Sol High School Marching Band in Tempe. But before Chris became a marching Aztec, he wore a different uniform. Chris is an Eagle Scout. His father proudly displays the book outlining the church painting service project, which earned Chris his Eagle certificate.
And of course, as you can see, it's signed by Bill Clinton.
It's an incredible accomplishment.
It's not about the president?
It's not about the president. It's about your country and what you believe in.
When one scout helps on your project...
Chris's father, Mike, himself an Eagle Scout, understands why the Utah Eagles think Bill Clinton is less than a Boy Scout, but he disagrees with their Clinton solution.
Personally, I think he should probably consider resigning, but in terms of having the office of the president on the Eagle Scout certificate, it's not a particular problem to me.
I still feel pride in knowing that the President of the United States has signed my Eagle certificate, whether it be Bill Clinton's signature or not.
Sometimes it can be hard to discern the fine line between the office of the president and the person holding the office. But as far as Chris Rooney is concerned, He's marching to the beat of a different drummer than the Eagle Scouts in Utah. At Corona del Sol High School, Lew Ruggiero, 12 News. Irene Pine saw Jim Agnew rifling through tools in her tenant's pickup. She yelled for him to stop.
He looked up at me and he started running at me.
Armed only with a can of pepper spray, Irene did not back off.
I stepped in front of him and I blasted him in the face.
Right. Jimmy Agnew was eventually caught, but Irene Pine may have been luckier than she knows. Did you know he had been in prison?
No.
Would that have made a difference?
No, sir, it would not have.
Not only has Jimmy Agnew done time before, he says he hears voices.
I think there's a computer circuit board in my frontal lobe that the United States of America placed in there that broadcasts my life on international TV and radio. It's televised, just like watching regular TV.
You think somebody's watching you?
Yes.
You ever seen the movie The Truman Show?
No.
While Jim Agnew may sound like The Truman Show, hearing voices and thinking his entire life is being televised, Irene Pine hears a line from a different movie in this alley, the movie Network. Irene is mad as hell, and she's not going to take it anymore.
I've had it up to here. I'm tired of listening to all their little problems. I really don't care. If he's that bad, then he shouldn't be out roaming the street.
In fact, Irene points to the trespass log at the nearby convenience store, showing Mesa police told Jimmy Agnew to stay off the property a week ago. If police would have checked then, they might have found Agnew is on probation for burglary.
It's a cop-out. I'm not buying it. I don't care if he has a mental problem. Stay off of my property. Stay away from my tenants.
In Mesa, Lew Ruggiero, 12 News. It looks like an extended campout, but the man's kids know the difference.
If you just camp out, you could go back to your house and...
But there is no house. The family was evicted from their rental a month ago. The parents and 8 kids cram into this tent every night.
Like it's all squished up in the middle of the night because everybody like has their legs or something on it.
Jeff Mans is disabled. Several years ago, he ran into legal problems over drugs. Cheryl just lost her job as a clerk. The family lives entirely on Jeff's disability check, less than $500 a month.
The shelters want to split us up, and the ones that do take families have a hard time accommodating this many people in one family.
Under Arizona law, at least 6 of the man's children should be in school, several of them here at Esperanza Elementary in the Deer Valley District. In fact, Esperanza has special facilities for kids without homes.
It's not really fun taking a bath or something out here. It'd be better if we were in a house.
We even have a shower facility here that kids can clean up in if they need to, nice hot running water.
Besides the special shower, the school also has plenty of donated clothing and shoes.
Okay, let's take yours. Come on. Oh, that looks good.
For now, the Mans family lives on donated food from Phoenix firefighters, but they know it's not a solution. It is barely survival. Lew Ruggiero, 12 News. Wayne Bates expects barking when he delivers mail to this home on East Granada Street in Scottsdale. In August, 2 dogs were in this backyard. Bates admits he used his pepper spray, but says he aimed for the fence, not the dogs. Sheriff's deputies arrested Bates for animal cruelty, but both the county attorney and Scottsdale city attorney refused to prosecute. The sheriff's office still smells a case on this fence, though. Deputies confiscated a section of chain link and a gate from the fence earlier this month. What could they learn that's new by confiscating part of that fence?
They could find out how high those dogs could pee on that fence.
The sheriff's office is also facing a multi-million-dollar false arrest claim from the letter carrier over the incident here on Granada Street. Going 0 for 2 with different prosecutors will not help the sheriff's office if the claim becomes a lawsuit and if a jury ever has to decide if the arrest was good or not.
If they want to sue, that's their business, not mine. I did my job. I carried out my promise. My posse was at work.
Sheriff Arpaio now declines an on-camera interview to explain why his deputies are still gathering evidence. The sheriff does have a copy of a letter from Arizona Humane Society Director Kenneth White, who wrote prosecutors early this month, "It is now my opinion there is reason to charge Mr. Bates." But that's apparently after White had earlier told the county attorney's office he thought Arpaio's pet posse was a publicity stunt. The sheriff is not ready to drop the pepper spray case, but going 0 for 3 in court could be expensive.
I'm perfectly happy for Sheriff Joe to keep doing whatever he wants to do. All it does is increase our damages.
If that's the case, taxpayers will pay Wayne Bates for his trouble. Lew Ruggiero, 12 News. Ben Powers used to work for the school-sponsored paper at Central High, but says he left in a dispute over censorship. A teacher suggested Ben start his own independent paper, so he did. But when he brought them to school to hand out, the administration at Central High confiscated them.
We believe in the First Amendment, and he has every right to do that. We're not trying to stop him from doing anything.
Other than distribute on campus?
On campus, yeah. And right now, that's an issue that's under study.
The school gave Ben his papers back, papers that cost about $800 to print, but not before the school district had an attorney write a letter to Ben, saying many of the comments you made about Central High School administrators and faculty members are defamatory. While the attorney for the Phoenix Union High School District says the school district does not want to take formal action against the Central Voice and Ben Powers, the attorney pointedly reminds Powers about the legal obligations that come along with publishing. The attorney's letter also calls on the Voice to apologize to several staff members.
Is this a threat to sue Ben Powers?
No, it's not.
But the letter goes on to warn Ben the school district will defend itself and its employees. It goes further, saying this is not an idle threat. Ben felt a definite chill, right down to his right to free speech.
What did you think when you got the first letter from the lawyer?
At first I was kind of afraid because, you know, I'm 17 and they're quoting laws.
The district says it is not trying to control the content of an independent paper. In fact, some adults might even support editorials like, "Sex is not worth it," and "Let's clean up our campus." The issue for the district, though, where the students can get the paper.
How you distribute it, you can stand right outside the fence, you can put a box right outside the school on public property, and there's nothing that we could do about that. You can distribute it any way you can.
Ben, though, wants the Central Voice available on Central's campus.
Well, it's a lot easier than standing out at 6:30 in the morning outside of campus.
What are these?
They're deviled eggs.
You'd expect nothing less from Krista Ryle. You see, Krista used to be an ASU cheerleader. Welcome to Krista's housewarming party.
Here we go. Go, go, go. Go, go.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Sun Devils have been playing the Wildcats since the turn of the century, but this is the first big game in Krista's new house.
Kind of a disappointing season?
Well, yes and no. It depends on how this game turns out here.
Doyle Zweigart may be the loneliest man at this party. He's a U of A fan, surrounded by Sun Devils.
It ain't too good right now, but I think by the end of the night I'll be the happy one, and everybody else will be bumming.
Twice in past years, the U of A has spoiled ASU's chances to go to the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. This year, though, it's the U of A that's smelling roses. And for most of the folks in this room, it comes down to a simple case of revenge.
This year and a chance at the Rose Bowl.
But payback died on this pitch out.
Breaks outside. Here he goes. One more for Trump candidate.
Which brings that lonely Wildcat fan, Doyle Zweigart, back into the picture.
You going to collect any money in this room tonight?
Yeah, I am. I made some money tonight. A little bit. I wish they would have beat the spread, but hey, a win's a win.
And for Krista Ryle, the ex-ASU cheerleader,
Here he goes. He's open.
a loss is a loss, but at least Krista got her house warmed with a game she'll remember. Lew Ruggiero, 12 News.